Hi, welcome to my channel, Rohit Speaks. And today I'm going to talk about these opioids and its abuse and use in today's modern world and what it has led to this current state, which is very bad and in a really crisis mode. So this is my episode 3 in my drug crisis, and we're going to touch on opioids today. So what are opioids? Opioids are chemical compounds, which is basically when ingested, they go and bind to these brain cell receptors and gives, and it basically immediately acts and acts as an agonist, or basically in simple words, it triggers that brain nerves firing, which allows your pain to be relieved or called as the feeling of analgesic. So you don't feel that pain anymore, or you don't have that pain sensation anymore. So opioids are very effective in that way. And there are several classes of opioids, and people have classified, or basically the current system have classified opioids based on how addictive or how quickly it acts. And just before we get into it, where are these made from? So opioids can be made naturally from poppy plants. So these are the poppy seed or the poppy plants, which is made, which is basically cultivated for latex, but also their seeds are edible. You can eat the seeds, but the latex from there, they extract a drug called as morphine. And morphine can be synthetically modified to make all different sorts of different opioids. And then there are some which are completely synthetically made, which is called as fentanyl. And fentanyl is one of the deadliest opioid available, and very few amounts of it can lead to an overdose and death, which I'll touch in few minutes. But so opioids are basically small chemical compounds which can basically improve your pain relief signaling to your brain. Normally, when you get hurt or anything, your brain will signal and then it will pain for a bit and then it will slowly fade away. What these opioids do is basically accelerate that timing to so that you don't feel that pain anymore. And these are usually used when you have surgery, or you're recovering from surgery, or small amounts of pain, or you have chronic pain. And these are prescribed freely in US and European countries at this point, but they are regulated. However, they are easily prescribed by the medical system. So let's say, what do they do? So how do they act? As I explained, when they go and bind, they have similar effects like a heroin drug it does. Basically, it will slow down your breathing rate, your blood rate, your pupils will constrict, and then also what will happen is that it will act within few minutes, and what will happen is that you slowly won't feel the pain sensation anymore. So basically, they capitalize on body's natural pain, as I explained. If it takes, let's say, in a day or two, for example, and this is just an example, when you cut yourself through a knife when you're chopping vegetables or whatever it is, you get a cut, it will bleed, and then after a while, it will have this slightly pain, which is very tolerable. But some people, they cannot tolerate that pain. So same cut to me will be on a pain scale will be 3, but somebody for them that 3 is actually on a pain scale would be a 6. So they might take some pain relief medicine too, or you can put some ointment so you don't really get that. But your body has a natural relief system. What these opioids do is basically accelerate that. In within few minutes, you will feel that you're not having any pain, or you don't feel any issue with that. So, and the other thing they also do is there is slowly relax your smooth muscle system. Now, smooth muscle system is everywhere in your body, especially in your colon or your small intestines, your large intestines. And one of the side effects when you take these opioid medicine is constipation, because your smooth muscles don't work and hence you get constipated. So basically, it accelerates the body's pain relief system, and very easily you can get addicted to it because you feel that euphoria, you feel that calmness, that out of the body experience, and hence people also get addicted to this painkillers. Now these are the list of opioid painkillers, and anything which is labeled as O here are opioids. And just to compare it to your normal pain reliefs, which are available over the counter, which is your normal aspirin, ibuprofen, and paracetamol. So in this scale, we're going to compare it against morphine. Morphine is your opioid. So if you say morphine on a scale of 1 is very effective, like it takes 1 mg to, let's say, relieve a pain, the effectiveness of paracetamol, aspirin, and ibuprofen is like thousands times less. So it takes a lot more. If you take 1 mg of morphine, you will relieve that pain very fast. Then it will take so many times, so much of this just to come to an effect what a morphine would do. So you have to take 1,000 times of that, what a 1 mg of morphine can do in few minutes. Then when you compare morphine to other opioids, so for example, codeine, tramadol, they are still on the lower side. But when you start going towards this side, hydromorphone, buprenorphine, methadone, oxycodone, fentanyl, fentanyl is 80 to 100 times more effective. That means it takes less than what it would take for a morphine to act. Buprenorphine is another one which is 40 times, but fentanyl is super, super effective. It takes only few amounts of it to do a pain relief system, and it's very easy for people to get addicted and get overdosed on it. So this is an example of how they compare against morphine, all different opioids. So this is for you, so you can have a look at how they work and how they are effective. As I said, these opioids are very easy to be overdosed, and there are so many celebrities who have already have talked about few, but these are the few other ones who have died due to overdose of opioids. Now, as I explained, these are very easily prescribed in Western world or maybe much regulated in Eastern world, but mostly in Western world. Like for example, I'll just give you, if I say I had small kind of, let's say, an abscess removal, and then they do a stitches and say they will prescribe you some kind of codeine or Vicodin, some kind of opioids for your pain relief. It's easily prescribed, and you will get like bunch of them. And just to let you know, when you take this, you have this feeling of high because you don't feel the pain anymore. And if you take one more, you'll feel like you are basically flying on air. So many other feelings, but just trying to let you know it's very easily available. You'll get a bunch of those, and this were also especially available to the celebrities. And as celebrities, compared to a common man, they have access to these drugs much more at much higher concentrated form or much smaller, depending on how they are. But it's very easy for them to get OD'd on it. Now, what will happen in OD is basically your breathing rate, your heart rate drops so low that you will no longer be able to breathe normally to sustain your body's requirement, and hence go to death. Some might die due to constipation, for example, Mr. Elvis Presley. So several other factors, but opioids, one common cause is that they're so easily prescribed and available. There is no control about how many they are taking. There is no control about how many they are being used. So that is one thing which is pretty bad in this current situation. Now, let me tell you about fentanyl. So this is a big crisis in US, especially because there have been a lot of deaths because of fentanyl overdose. So this is in a comparison of how much it is required to an overdose on this common drugs which is streetly available on street. So heroin, it takes a couple of milligrams. For fentanyl, it takes only like couple of those grains of that to overdose and die. Carfentanil is a much more severe form of fentanyl. And these are the pictures of the easily available on the street. So these guys are high on fentanyl combined with tranquilizers, horse tranquilizers called as xylazine. So they mix these two drugs, and what happens is this is called a zombie drug. You take it, and within few minutes you are like bent, you're not moving, you're super high. And these guys are on it for a couple of minutes, and then they kind of die, not die, but they kind of sleep around the cities, and especially in downtown in major US cities, you will find these kind of people who are just hunched around, or they are mostly high on fentanyl and tranquilizer called as tranq. Just to let you know again how severe this is, this much, only few grains of fentanyl is leading to death of the people. But also there is, if you know that somebody is having an overdose or some kind of that, there are antidotes. For example, there is an naloxone spray or Narcan. It will basically act as an antidote. It will is an antagonist for that pain relief system. Basically, it will occupy the same place where your fentanyl is going to bind. It will go there, remove the fentanyl, and remove its effect very easily. But Again, this awareness has to be there that there are antidotes, but you need to be aware about how much opioids you're consuming for your pain. Is it required? Are you doing just because now you're addicted to it? And there are several clinics which will help you to get over it. Right now, this is a big crisis in US, and there are several shows and TV shows which make you aware of this. So hopefully people get a little bit more educated on using opioid as painkillers. With this video, I just wanted to create awareness about this opioid usage. And if you are prescribed with it for pain relief, try to use it momentarily and get rid of it, or don't keep it forever. People try to hold on to it because, again, it gives you that feeling of numbness, that out of this world, or just feeling high. So, my request to the people who have access to it, please be aware of it and don't over or abuse it. With this, I would like to close out this video, and I would try to cover any other drug crisis which is going on in the next episode. Till then, I'll see you. Bye.